All right, folks. Long time no talk. Um, that's enough of you. There's a difference between telling you what's going on and complaining, okay? I can't stand a complainer. There's nothing worse than a complainer. Nothing worse. So I'm choosing the route of just telling you what's been going on. Folks, she's been a bear. She's been a bear. Really makes a guy think about what the hell he's actually doing here these days. We had 11 below zero, not to mention a little bit of help with wind chill. I couldn't tell you what wind chill was. 11 below zero Tuesday and Wednesday. She's kids earmuffs. She's been a bastard. Tractor's not wanting to start till about noonish after putting a heater on them and everything else, and of course jumping them. If you've kept up with the channel for any amount of time, actually for at least about a year, you'll know that the 6420, the block heater, went to Hades last year. And I had to, of course, order a new one and install it. No big deal. Kind of a big deal, it went to hell again. 6420 is finally running. It has not run for about 3 days. What are you going to do? Silo was frozen this morning. One of the areas of the sidewall of the silo froze, and then therefore kind of did a little cattywampus on the unloader. And it took what I'm going to call a crossbar, which is roughly, that son of a gun's probably about 6-7 feet. Bent it in half. That was fun. Pickaxe had to be brought up there and had to pick out the frozen silage on the silo. One thing after another, frozen water cups, faulty water cups. Of course, I only got 2 animals in here, but we're going to talk about that. That's about to change here this Saturday. The list goes on and on. Not to mention, we just got another foot of snow. I snow plowed today after I finally got the 6420 going. That was one of my biggest goals today. I had about 15 things on my list. One of them was the 6420 was to, by God, start before dark. I'll be snow plowing again tomorrow. So yeah, we got another foot of snow. What the hell else has been going on here? It's been miserable. You know, I usually start these videos off by giving the date and the time. 7:03 p.m. on this Thursday evening, December 12th. December 12th, not February 12th. Okay, enough all that crybaby BS. All right. So in an effort to prepare just a little bit better, which you're never prepared, for God's sakes, I feel like I'm a month behind, if not more. I apparently got caught with my pants down this year, for lack of better words. I'm missing on quite a few cylinders. I'll admit it. It's not for the lack of trying, but the extreme weather that we've received. How do you like that English? And everything else. I'm over a month behind. But whatever. Day by day, do what you can. What are you going to do? Okay, we're going after weaning off of calves Saturday. Now this has to be done in stages. With the amount of cattle that's out there, the facilities that we have or lack thereof, and the amount of calves, We used to do vaccinations, separations, and weaning all in one day. Oh, it was a son of a gun of a day, but all in one day. We can't get away with that. Not now. So anyway, we're going after a certain group. The goal is all the bull calves, and there's 6 of them, 6, and probably in the neighborhood of 7 or 8 of the youngest, smallest calves. Heifers, steers, it doesn't matter. So therefore, Saturday, on a perfect world, all these pens are going to be filled up. There's going to be another one thrown in here. This is going to be filled up. And that back pen that I know that you know what it looks like, that's going to be filled up, well, probably with four young ones. Well, okay. I am working on water. Last year, we did have some calves. We had some calves in the barn. And we quite simply just hauled pails of, oh, I'm losing you here. Quite simply just hauled pails of water. Well, that's not a big deal. It takes, about 5 extra minutes. Who cares about 5 extra minutes? It's a little bit of a pain in the butt. Not to mention, I suffered some water line breakage from freeze-ups. Well, I've had about enough of that. So, this is what I'm doing. We are running more heat tape. Let's start from the beginning. Now, last year I took this heat tape job on, and I can tell you I'm going to rave about it. I'm going to give you my insight, which is all positive. It was an absolute blessing, and I'm also going to show you what I use, brand names and everything. But what I did is I heat taped the main vein, okay? Everything that basically what feeds outside. Didn't care about the inside for the most part because we were just running pails of water. I want things to be a little bit different this year. So therefore, this whole entire west side of the barn where all the pens are never got heat taped. I mean, I got lines all over the place. Not dangerously, but whatever. So I decided about a week or two ago, enough is enough. It's time to heat tape the west end of the barn, maybe to alleviate just a little bit of extra work. So, therefore, I started tonight. Of course, this is where it ends. This is where it's going to start back off. Comes down here. Follows that line. Up to here and there. So, stinking cats, get out of there now. So what I did is I picked up 2 30-footers. I just ran this one here. I am by no means done with it. I'll show you exactly what I'm doing. And another 30-footer to start here, because obviously it's where it ends. Start here, go down here, and head up into the ceiling area. Now, I am not prepared, nor am I going any further than that. Well, Ben, that's real nice. You probably covered half of it. What about this stuff? Okay. You see the heaters behind me. Big Bertha, as I like to call her. Oh, she's such a sweetheart. You turn her on, and in about 20 minutes, 15 minutes, this entire west end of the barn is probably about 50 degrees. The ceiling, which is the most important part here, is probably about 80 degrees or better. And that's what my bets are on. Well, it's not a bet. Folks, I haven't slept for quite a long time. You're going to have to excuse me. My words are not all correct. Things have been an absolute bear. But boo-hoo-hoo. Basically, the ceiling and then down to the cups is what is not covered with heat tape and that pipe insulation. And that's okay, because 15 to 20 minutes with Big Bertha, and they will be freed up. So, yeah, that's kind of what I got going. All right, let me show you my little scenario here, and I'm going to show you some brand names too. We're going to go in the Melco, so I've got one yet that I haven't opened up. Okay, quite simply, I'm buying heat tape. You know what? Let's start here. All right, I'm picking this up at my local Menards. This is a Frost King brand electric water pipe heat cable. This is the same stuff that I used last year to do the entire, probably about 75% of the barn, the whole east end. Folks, it worked stellar. I was scared as hell. I really was. Heat tape, I mean, hell, there's a bunch of chaff laying around, hay bales, straw bales. Folks, it was perfect. It really was. It really, really was. I was scared about the whole danger of, fire and everything else. But it ended up to be absolutely stellar. So anyway, the heat tape that I'm buying, and you can buy different lengths. The longest that I'm seeing is 30 footers. I think you can get 8s and all that other crap too. But anyway, it is, as it turns out, it's thermostatically controlled. The temperatures, I don't know what the temperatures are. I probably should have prepared for this video, being I'm actually promoting a product here, which isn't very often. It's thermostatically controlled, and I'm here to tell you it's by God true. It does work. There's a thermostat. All right, let me turn this. Right here. This is the beginning of the heat tape cable. Now, at the very end, I can only assume that they talk to each other, for the lack of better words. There is the other thermostat right here. The one thing I found out that you do not want to do is you do not want to cover the thermostat areas, because you're basically camouflaging what the actual temperature is. So that's the reason for that. This stuff has been a savior. That is why I'm kind of raving about it. So anyway, you start off here, and then of course, good old-fashioned zip ties. Gotta love zip ties. I don't know, what is this, 6, 7, 8, 9 inches apart. I'm using the 7-inch zip ties. I am getting a little fancy pants here with, some 90s, and I even have some tees as well. I've yet to cut those off yet. And then of course now, if you're going to do a job, for God's sakes, do a job correctly. And by the way, this isn't exactly cheap. It's not. But I don't know of any other practical scenario for what I have going on here. And by God, it works. Okay, once your heat tape is in place and you've zip tied it all with about 7-inch zip ties, then of course we have the pipe insulation. And you can probably still get away with your 7-inch zip ties, I think. I don't know, but I'm using 11s for those. And probably about every couple feet or so, I'm putting one on just to kind of help out, just to kind of secure it a little bit. Obviously, I stopped here. I need to get in here. And I kind of push them apart together, excuse me, and zip tie it. Big believer in zip tie, big believer in heat tape. I got called everything under the sun last winter, including redneck quite a few hundred times, which thank you, by the way. I'm okay with that. You do with what works. You do with what you can afford, for God's sakes. What the hell else am I supposed to do? The one thing I'm not going to do, unless there's something out there that I don't know of, is a full-time heat source for the farm. Some people might start talking about modines. No, that is not safe in a farm. Maybe a stand-up kerosene propane type ordeal. I've seen them. I've researched the hell out of them. That does not make me comfortable. I can promise you I will not sleep at night having one of those on. So what I do is, the job site heaters, whatever you want to call them. I call them salamanders. And they work out pretty nice. They do the job. You do have to, you need to be a little bit careful. You see this white stuff here? That, of course, is barn lime, which is to prevent slipping with animals, cattle coming down the aisle. I did spill a fair amount of kerosene and diesel, and of course, I'm just kind of covering it up with some barn lime. So, anyway, yeah. I went on a big run today for a bunch of material, including a whole bunch of kerosene. Now, Big Bertha can burn diesel, and I know diesel's probably 70% cheaper. Here's the deal. I got tired of getting sick. I'm basically mixing a 1-to-4 ratio. 1 kerosene, 4 number 1 diesel, and it makes a huge difference. I was home for quite a spell there for probably about 2.5 weeks or so. And of course, every morning I was turning on Big Bertha just basically to get the chill out of the barn. That, and there had to be a little bit of a meltdown, of course, as well, with some freezing. Folks, I was sick till mid-afternoon. Just felt like garbage. That mixing in the kerosene, as expensive as it is worth its weight in gold. So, yeah, I went on a run today. I bought a whole bunch of material, kerosene. The list goes on and on. But, yeah. Folks, it's about 7:15 here. I'm just checking in. I am going to continue to work until about 8 o'clock. I have been dreaming and praying of a warm, hot house and a hot meal. She's been a son of a gun, and we're going to put on a couple videos here tomorrow, and then this weekend we got calves being weaned, manure being spread. The list goes on and on, but yeah, welcome back. She hasn't been pleasant, but we're going to get through it day by day. So we're going to talk to you sooner and later.